Self-isolating can be a challenging experience whether you have symptoms or not. I'm getting some tips on how to maintain a positive attitude from the psychologist Kimberley Wilson.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming over. Normally I'd give you a hug or something, but...
Different times.
No hugs. Apart from people who are severely ill, for most of us self-isolating, the big issues are psychological. Is that right?
I think it's fair to say that this is an unprecedented event, and more than ever, we're going to have general levels of anxiety rise. We're quite used to talking about anxiety in individual people or people who might be particularly vulnerable to it, but actually this is going to be anxiety on a national and international level. Big things that people are going to be thinking about are managing anxiety, boredom and frustration.
So how am I going to manage my boredom?
It's not okay just to have a few books and think that your phone or a few movies is going to do it. You need to be much more creative. Puzzles, games, maybe crafts, maybe teach yourself to knit. Having lots of different options and different modalities just to give your brain a little bit of novelty.
You're almost describing like a school timetable.
Kind of. People probably should have some sort of routine. The thing about these sorts of days is that they will stretch and they'll kind of bleed into each other, and you can end up just lying around not doing very much. And so actually it might be worth having a bit of a sense of, well, by the end of a week I want to have accomplished this, and that will give you something to focus on, a target to move towards.
So we need routine.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people perhaps don't realise is that routine helps us to manage and contain our anxiety.
What about the cabin fever, where you really start to get like almost itchy, you want to be outside so much?
We all do have a need to move and kind of stretch ourselves and just feel like we have the freedom to get up, open our door and take a walk outside. And especially if you're going to be in with other people, that frustration will build. And so what I suggest is kind of having a bit of an escape room. So that can be just a little space in the house or in your room. You can just go and be by yourself. And the rule should be, if someone's in the escape room, you leave them alone, give them some space.
Even if you're in a one-room flat with 3 or 4 people, having some space that you can briefly call your own.
Absolutely, because we
Love
all,
that.
as much as we're social animals, we all do have a need for quiet, for peace, for a little bit of a break from other humans. And so even if it's just a cushion in the corner of a room and you face the walls and you have your book, you can feel as if you have a tiny moment of peace and quiet. We're gonna have to be creative about the ways that we manage these unusual circumstances and these new difficulties that we're all gonna be facing.
Okay, let me tell you my anxieties. I'm worried that I might die, or I might be really ill and have a horrible moment of going, do I need to go to hospital or not? I'm much more worried that my parents will die, which even saying that out loud sounds bad to say it.
Yeah. No, and I think it's really worth saying that, and we shouldn't call it morbid, because that's really the underlying anxiety that many people are going to have, right? That of illness or potentially death. And it's worth being able to say that out loud so that we don't feel like as if we're having to hide our true anxieties and feel like we're having to keep it all to ourselves. And the more that we can have these conversations, even in a very gentle way, then that's okay. And it's probably also worth saying that it's okay to have a bit of kind of dark humour about it. You know, humour is one of the ways that humans manage very, very difficult circumstances. See, what happens when you feel anxious is that your thinking shuts down, and the part of you that can think more rationally about the future kind of gets a little bit disrupted, and all you can think about perhaps is the worst and the catastrophe and the worry, and the feeling is that this will last forever. So it's always worth finding ways to remind yourself that it won't last forever, it will end, it will be difficult, but we will come through the other end of it.